Good morning, America. Ali here with another live session on Facebook and also on Periscope. And we're doing it a little bit early today because I have a boot camp session, a 2-hour boot camp session that I'm doing. And I promised my wife that we will not miss it. And they say, man's word says a lot about his character. And I do not want to disappoint. So I am going to stick around with what I promised. And at the same time, give you all the proper information to make sure that you get your learn on for the day. So, as everybody's hopping on, and for those of you who might be watching this later on a recorded version because it is an unorthodox timing, we usually do this at 8:30 a.m. My name is Ali Mehdaoui. I'm the founder and CEO of Mehdaoui Enterprise, and I do these every single morning, as I've mentioned, at 8:30 a.m. Different topics, but it's all generic. Coaching for business. I do help entrepreneurs just to be empowered to have whatever it is that I've done for the last 7 years to build businesses on over 7 countries worth of production, traditional businesses, network marketing businesses. I'm a published author with a book called The Lion Network Marketer that is going to be in stores and online everywhere as of this Monday. And I got a whole lot of craziness that is going on, a good craziness that is. So while you are on Periscope, do us a favor, swipe from the left to the right or swipe up if you are on Android product, and click that share button. Invite those entrepreneurs just like yourself so they can get, what I believe will maximize their success and what I've done over the last 7 years. And also on top, on that bottom right, if you tap the screen, you're going to see these little hearts that come up. That just tells us, you know what, we dig it, and it motivates us to do this every single day as much as we possibly humanly can. And for those of you on Facebook, rather, obviously you can share, you can like, you can comment as well. So let's get right into our class of Pick Your Own Topic Friday. And I took the liberty to pick in this topic today because about 5 people asked me about it this week alone. So I said, you know what? I'm going to actually take it and provide it to the masses. Whenever I have like a trend, I like to put it out there. So how do you maximize your success in MLM? First of all, any of you in MLM right now, either give us some hearts or put a number 1 or a comment just so I know my audience. Have you ever tried MLM before? Are you a network marketer right now or a professional network marketer? And put that on the comments so the masses can see who you are as well, so they can follow you and connect with you, as this will be watched all day long. So there are those who automatically rise to the top, and there are those who just never for some reason make it or get that success that they need to have. Hello, Chris, I see you on Facebook. So what is the actual difference? Like what was set up for one crowd to make it to the top, and what was missing for the many that never really get to the rising ranks, right? And I can sum it up in 3 things and a bonus component that I believe if you have going on for you right now, you have a home run and you can 100% have success. But if you don't, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful, but you might need to adjust. You might need to ask questions. You might need to get the right process going for you. So the first thing is you got to have the right product or service for you, not for the marketplace, not for the friends and the family, but for you specifically. And you got to ask yourself, well, why is that? Well, you know how many people I spoke to and they say, oh yeah, I quit that company. I left that company. I'm not in the company anymore. And I usually ask, why not? And one of the 3 components is usually I couldn't afford the product. It was too expensive. I couldn't afford the $150 a month. I couldn't afford the $300 a month. I couldn't afford this or I couldn't afford that. What does that tell me? That you, to begin with, didn't need that product. You just did it because of the opportunity, which is great. But if the product doesn't make sense to you, if it's not something for you specifically, it becomes an add-on expense that you just are not comfortable with. But if it was something that is part of your everyday habit, something that you need, something that you believe in, it's not an add-on expense. It's just part of your daily life. So you don't have to worry about that add-on expense regardless to how great of an opportunity or whether you did it for business or not. It's a product that is part of you. So it is important that you find a product or a service that is part of your daily or monthly habits, that you don't have to recreate the wheel and it feels like you're adding on, things that you don't necessarily need. So, I love it when I see, and I talked to so many different people from our profession, but when I see somebody who is passionate about health and wellness, right? Like they actually go to the gym with or without the opportunity, and then I see them talking about their product. See, you are a product of the product. It's not an add-on expense. Or people who are passionate about, cosmetics or makeup or that kind of sort of profession as well. Guess what? They actually are passionate about making other people feel good, and they do it for themselves as well. So it's not just an add-on expense. It's just part of who they are. So find a product or a service that makes it part of who you actually are. The second thing is it needs to be the right compensation plan for you. What does that mean? See, there are a few people who can build multiple legs of business and have a lot of influence. And there are a few others who unfortunately just are in the process of still learning, and they cannot build 5, 6, 7 legs. They can only build 2. Right? They can only build volume. They are good at sales. They might not be good at recruiting, or vice versa. They might be good at recruiting, but they're not closers. So you have to identify who you are as an executive in the business world itself to be able to identify the right compensation plan for you. And again, forget about that person that was in front of the room who said, you're going to be a millionaire and everybody's going to be rich. It doesn't necessarily work that way. It's only the very few who will be able to actually do, certain things with that compensation plan that you have. The third component is you need to have a support team that is just as invested in you as you are in it. What I mean by that, do your support team call you every single day as much as you call in on every single conference call? Does your support team go out and meet up with you and drive to you just like you would be driving to certain regional events and different things? So many different things that I cannot stress how important they are for you to be able that you have. And if you don't have that support team that is invested in you, reach out to your upline sponsor and their sponsor and their sponsor. Reach out to the company and say, hey, I'm a representative. I'm paying my dues. I'm promoting the product. I need help. I need support. Who do I need to talk to get the proper help and the proper effort towards my business? Because I am the right person to be able to do such and such and such, right? And there's nothing that a sponsor upline would love more than you reaching out to them and saying, I am it. I am your guy, or I am your girl. I am the one that has the qualities that you need to have to build this business. I am your next $1 million earner, but I need you to invest your time in me. I need you to be available for me for 3-way calls. I need you to be available to do webinars for me. I need you to be available to follow up with my prospects. And the reason that is, you might have a job or two. You might have a full family. You might be already occupied with what you had in life. So you having a support team will balance your business. So whenever you're not available, meaning when I was working back in the day in Ruby Tuesday, right, in the restaurants, guess what I used to do? I used to call my sponsor and say, hey, for the next 12 hours, there's no way I'm going to be able to touch the phone because I'm going full in the kitchen. So I need you to please be available. I'm going to send a mass text to my team that you are going to take all their 3-way calls and you are going to answer all the questions they may have. Can I count on you? And I get that commitment from my sponsor, so I don't have to make my team suffer by simply not being available. So it is crucially important to have a support team that is invested in you as much as you are invested in them and in the opportunity. So just to recap on those 3 things, you need to have the right product or service for you that is part of who you are, that is not an add-on expense. You need to find a compensation plan that makes sense for you and for your amount of influence that you have. It doesn't mean that you can't meet new people, but just make sure you are disciplining your expectations within that compensation plan. It's not because the company has 13 ways that you can get paid, it means that you're going to get paid 13 ways the very first month. There is a process, there is a certain amount of work that needs to go, and your lifestyle, the amount of time that you have, your circumstances, your financial institution, and your influence will have a whole lot to do with how fast you rank up in the comp plan or you don't. So you gotta be aware and educated of that. And obviously the third one, which the support team has to be invested in you as you are invested in them. Now, if you are lacking in any of these 3 components that I just shared with you, it doesn't mean quit. It doesn't mean walk away. No, it means address the elephant in the room, right? If you feel like the product is too expensive, you're going to have to take an evaluation of, why did I get involved with this product in the first place? What do I love about it? Adjust what you are ordering for what's important to you, what you consume, what you use as a consumer, instead of just buying stuff to buy stuff with the hope or with the mindset that I'm going to retail it, I'm going to go ahead and start selling it out there, and so on and so forth. And obviously, like I've mentioned, the compensation plan, if there's no progress at a quarterly level, so you give yourself 90 days of honest effort. Like, listen, being in a company and working a company is two different things. There's many people who tell me, well, I've been in the company for about 6 years. Now, that's great and all, but if you are not 100% working it on a daily basis, guess what happens? You are going to struggle, because I can tell you, yeah, I work for Geico, but if I'm not selling insurance for Geico, I'm not making any commissions. I'm just lying to myself and to the masses. So make sure you are working it. And every quarter, 90 days, evaluate what you have done, how did you do, and adjust, not quit. Listen, folks, you're giving your jobs, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 years, a career, a lifetime, right? And you're giving your business to 90 days and quit? No, I'm not telling you give it 90 days and quit, but give it 90 days and evaluate, how are you doing? Give yourself an evaluation and ask yourself this question: do I deserve a raise, or do I need to be fired, right? Or suspended from my job or my business that I'm building right now? So with that question, it's a segue to the next piece: leadership. See, leadership is a must-to-have in a business, especially in network marketing, or I guarantee you, with everything that's within me, you will fail. If you do not focus on leadership, I guarantee you, I bet you $10,000, you will fail. If you think just being a salesperson is going to help you succeed in network marketing, nope. Definitely an important piece. Definitely needed to know that skill as well, but you will not succeed, because leadership has certain components that allows people to be attracted to you, and you lead the masses to do certain things. And if you're not leading, you are not going to have a team. No one is going to follow you. So let's talk about, what do great leaders do? And again, there are so many vast different characteristics, but I'll just tell you, in my opinion, what I've seen over the last 7 years and what allowed me, again, to build in different countries. So regardless to the digital tools that we have, we live in a social media and an internet world where, information is just like that, extremely fast. But regardless of all the digital tools that are available to us, they actually stick with traditional practices, meaning, yeah, you can build on, Twitter and Instagram, and you can blast posts about your company all day, but guess what? Unless you pick up that phone and have a human relationship, a human conversation, you are not going to be a leader in the eyes of that prospect. So you need to actually stick with the traditional practice as well as utilize all the tools that you have available. You can use all statistics and try to study the reach on your social media. How many people am I reaching? What's the age bracket? What's this? What's that? Listen, if a person is hungry, they're hungry. So unless, again, you are belly to belly, face to face, getting to know the person and see what's important to them and how you can help them and how they can actually be a partner of yours, again, you're going to struggle a little bit. So do not hide behind the digital tools. Make sure that you are also utilizing and sticking with the traditional practices as well. Leaders anticipate change and they prepare for it. What does that mean? Well, see, about 5 years ago, we were all on Facebook, but we didn't understand the world of Twitter. We didn't really understand that this thing that's coming out called Tumblr. We didn't understand what Snapchat is. We didn't understand all these things. But what leaders do, they kind of get a little hint, they hear about it, and then they study, they read, they actually go to seminar, they hire mentors, they look at their business as a class, and they continually say, how can I get better? Because as long as you are learning, you can actually teach. But as long as you're not learning, there's no way in hell that you can teach anyone. And if you're not teaching, you don't have value to offer to the masses. And therefore, people automatically withdraw. They pull back. They're not as invested in you as you would like for them to be. So it is important for you to anticipate change. trust and believe, just like things changed from 10 years ago for what they are right now, they will change again. So as long as you are continually getting educated, continually studying, continually learning, you'll stay, I wouldn't say necessarily just ahead of the curve. Some get lucky at times and they stay ahead of the curve, but the many, at least, you're right there with the timeline and how things are changing. Great leaders are head down, are not rather head down. See, you hear all the time like, put your head down and go to work. Yeah, that's great to work hard, but great leaders, they don't just put their head down. They actually scan their environments and they see, how can I make it better? They see a certain amount of processes. They see how people are working their businesses. They see how, slides look, how the music is, how, the setup of the room itself. And they see, how can I collaborate and make this better? And they actually find ways to make changes on a positive way. They help, they assist, they coach, they get the people to buy and believe into their actual, I'm sorry, I can't have politics. Gotta keep them separated. Got somebody that's crashing my my Periscope talking about politics. So you gotta scan the room and know how to bring change. Know how you can react. Know how you can actually make the room better. How you can make people better. And the only way to do that is for yourself to develop yourself, right? And how do you do that? It goes back to what? Learning again, right? Reading, watching videos that are, or going to seminars or getting mentorships to help you do so. Leaders love diversity. They love to connect the difference, between people by providing the solution to all sorts of problems. There are, each and every one of you, including me, we have different mindsets, different way that we view the world, different perspectives. And here's the reality. We are looking at it from a different angle that we might think that it's a problem, right? I'm here to tell you, and I heard this in the actual documentary from Tony Robbins, I'm Not Your Guru. He said, what's, people's number one problem is that we think we shouldn't have them. We all have problems, it's part of life. And what I can tell you is, as long as you are working towards providing the solution to that problem and you're solving it, you will find happiness. And that is what an entrepreneur does. That's why, entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. It's a mindset. And as you're solving a problem, you feel this thrill. You feel this, sense of accomplishment. As little or as big of a problem that you solve, it still makes it to the next level of happiness for you. So, true leaders always are looking to fix the solution. Rather, the masses, they dwell on the problem and they just talk about it, and for the most part, you're getting critiqued, right? You're getting mocked. You're getting talked about. You can't care about that. Look at Steph Curry. They've been talking bad about him. Steph Curry put a dent on his career because of the loss. Steph Curry this, Steph Curry that. Do you think he cares? He's working hard in the gym, getting ready for the next season, and so on and so forth. Great leaders never, ever, for that matter, go along just to get along. You heard that before. People say, I'll just go along, that you don't want to create any drama, any issues. No, I don't go along to just get along. Great leaders purposely do things differently, regardless of how they can get mocked, regardless of how bad they get talked about, regardless of anything, right? They are told by their loved ones, their close ones, you're crazy, it's never gonna work, what are you thinking? Go get a real job, go do this, go do that. And guess what? They still go and do it anyways. That's what a great leader does. I am going to break through. I am going to go through that rock that you're putting in front of me, and maybe I'll go around it, maybe I'll just break it if I'm strong enough, but regardless, I'm not going to just settle for what you're trying to define me with. I'm not normal. I am not like everybody else. I heard it from family, friends, people who love me, and they thought they were protecting me the whole time by telling me, like, you're crazy. No one has done this before. Why don't you get a real job? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And thank you, God, that I did not listen to them, and I was hard-headed enough, not because I am better than them or anything, but just because I'm happy with where I am in life right now. For the last 5 out of 7 years, I've been home, working from home. I've built businesses in multiple countries. I speak 5 international languages. I'm a published author. I have coaching students. I have businesses that are thriving all over the country and all over the world. And guess what? I was hard-headed to not listen to none of them. And I'm not telling you go ahead and be rebellious. All I am telling you is just follow your own lane, or create your own lane rather. So I hope this helps you out a little bit to understand the process. Entrepreneurship has become a lifestyle and boost and passion to succeed same time. Yep, I couldn't agree with you more. And I appreciate you for all the hearts, the comments. I appreciate you all. Tomorrow we are in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So tomorrow and Sunday there will not be a class because it's going to be amazing, great things that are going to be happening. Our very first Mehdaoui Enterprise Coaching event, and we're going to be launching a series of classes, webinars, and so many different things. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And all I can say is I'm very grateful. I'm very happy. I'm very blessed. I can't tell you how excited I am with everything life has become. If I could do it, or if I have done it, 14 years ago I was a busboy in TGI Fridays coming from a third world country saying me no English. So if I could do it, I know you could do it as well. For more information, go to MehdaouiEnterprise.org. That is Mehdaoui, like my last name, enterprise.org. You can see my interviews, my articles that have been everywhere. You can get a sneak peek of my book and everything really you need to know about us and what we do. So I can't thank you enough for your time. And with that, I will see you all soon. Have a blessed day, everybody. Take care.